Hi there. I'm leaving the house for work this morning. My wife says, hey, what are you filming today? I said, the 2021 Toyota Mirai, a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. And she says, hydrogen? Where do you get hydrogen? Good question. And that really is the fundamental question of the Toyota Mirai. Even if this is the best car in the world, without a nationwide hydrogen infrastructure, should you buy one? Let's find out. If you pay attention to cars, you're probably convinced that the future of the automobile is battery-powered electric vehicles. However, if the Terminator taught us one thing, it's that the future is not written. All sorts of powertrains are going to be competing for your dollars. Batteries, plug-in hybrids, synthetic fuels, and yes, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Now, hydrogen cars have a couple of advantages over battery-powered ones. Let me give you two. Speed of filling it up. I can fill this thing full of hydrogen in the same amount of time it takes me to fill up a gasoline-powered car. Two, range. If I need more of it, just put in a bigger tank. Think about a semi-truck, right? It's a lot cheaper and easier to just install a larger tank than it is to install a larger battery. Toyota is very serious about fuel cell technology. This is actually the second generation Mirai. The first one came out in 2016. It has a couple of natural hydrogen-powered competitors, the Hyundai Nexo and the Honda Clarity. But Toyota is hoping that people considering cars like the Tesla Model 3 and the Volkswagen ID.4 take a good look at the new Mirai. I'd give this design a B. Here's a few reasons why. One, Toyota has said that, hey, if everyone in the industry has a big grill, we're gonna have the biggest grill. It's gonna be massive. It's gonna stretch from that side of the car all the way to this side. Thing is, I don't think that looks that good. Also, there's no hot engine under here that needs to be cooled. So a giant grill is sort of superfluous. Also, there's just like all these slashes going on the front of this. It's odd, and having a flat top to the headlight, it's just strange. It's not conventionally good looking. What is conventionally great looking is the side of the Mirai. Just wonderful. This is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and nothing says I'm rear-wheel drive more than this space right here, this big piece of metal. It's called the dash to axle ratio, and what it really means is the space between the steering wheel and the center of the wheels. The longer that is, the more elegant, the more sporty a car looks. It's just a trick of the eye, but they've done a great job with it here. However, they stuck the word fuel cell right here. I don't know if I want fuel cell on my car. It's kind of dorky. It's sort of like in the 80s when they started putting DOHC on everything, double overhead camshaft. Nobody knew what it meant, and I don't think anyone really knows what a fuel cell is. That said, the metalwork on this car, the surfacing, the paint quality, this looks like it came off of a Lexus, not a Toyota. It's that good. You have this elegant sloping roof line. It's beautiful, but it looks like a hatchback, and there's a trunk. And whenever you do that, you get into that round peg, square hole phenomenon, and there's lots of compromises right in this area here. So it's okay right here. Coming out back, pretty good. I see a little bit of Kia Stinger, and I do see a lot of aero cheat. So you can tell that this came out of a wind tunnel, not necessarily off someone's design pad. That said, I'll give it a B+. As fresh and as new and as good looking and as innovative as the outside of the Mirai is, the inside, it's kind of a drab Toyota's greatest hits party. I mean, first of all, everything is black. Second of all, we've seen it all before. It's not new, it's not cutting edge, it's not a hydrogen fuel cell worthy interior. Now Toyota's gonna say, oh, we don't wanna scare people, but that's not true. They don't want to spend a ton of money, which is understandable. There's some good stuff. The material quality is really nice. This leather is very soft, very subtle, it's very high quality, so that's good. I like this little design flourish here. It's like from the shifter into the vent. Very cool, nice piece of bright work, kind of brightens up the interior. The only thing really that brightens up the interior. It's quite a large car, especially it feels that way from the front seat. It feels very wide, lots of space, and I think it has to be wide because of the size of the fuel cell. One thing that does really bother me though about this interior is the infotainment screen. You have this almost revolutionary powertrain, and yet this is your screen? Also, the backseat is rather compromised. It's really tight. Why? Because there's a big hydrogen fuel cell behind it, which is pushing it forward. And also as a result, there's a tiny little trunk. You're not going on a long trip in the new Mirai. Performance is a bit of an odd duck when it comes to hydrogen fuel cell cars because, nobody's really buying them for performance. As such, the motor in this thing, it puts out 182 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque, which isn't a lot. And also, it's a large car and it's not light. However, that is an electric motor back there that's powering the car, so all of that torque is available instantly. So this thing's a bit quicker than you might imagine. Not a ton of handling in terms of, having fun on a back road, but the ride is surprisingly comfortable. What is noteworthy is the range. The base Mirai will get just over 400 miles on a tank. This one, the limited, because it's got more luxury stuff and really because it has better tires, is just about at 360 miles, just under that. The problem is, where do you fill it up? You cannot just install a hydrogen filling station at your house. You also can't install a gas pump at your house, but if you have an EV, you can charge overnight. So it really is limited in terms of who's gonna buy this thing. But Toyota, for a variety of reasons, they're keeping the technology alive or helping to keep the technology alive. In terms of efficiency, it's not quite as good as an EV because the fuel cell is converting hydrogen into electricity, so there's some loss there. But when a power station is converting coal or whatever into something you're going to charge your battery with, there's a loss there too. As it stands, this vehicle gets 76 mpge for the base car, 67 for the limited model. Safety hasn't been crash tested yet, so we don't know. For those of you worried about the fact that it's hydrogen because the Hindenburg was hydrogen, don't worry about it. The hydrogen is stored in a carbon fiber tank, which is many times stronger than your steel gas tank. It does have Toyota's Safety Sense 2.5 Plus. I guess 2.6 was taken, and that includes all sorts of your usual active safety goodies like lane centering and automatic pedestrian braking, all the good stuff. How much? Okay, you can get into a Toyota Mirai for just over $50,000, which is a pretty good price considering what cutting-edge technology a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle is. And it's an especially good price when you look at the competition, right? Hyundai Nexo is over $60,000. A Honda Clarity is over $58,000. As this vehicle sits, however, this is the limited, the fancy one, fully loaded, $67,420, which is, it's a lot. There's no other way to put it, especially when you consider that a Tesla Model 3 is around $40,000 to start. However, a couple of caveats. One, this is still eligible for federal tax credit, so you can knock $7,500 off the price right there. And Toyota will give you $15,000 of free hydrogen. That is equivalent to 35,000 miles of driving, which you might need looking for the next hydrogen station, but still, it does drop the price quite a bit. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 Toyota Mirai, it's that Toyota has built a great hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. The problem with the car is not the car's fault. Just because there's no hydrogen infrastructure, there's nothing wrong with the car. And taken as a whole, it's a good-looking vehicle that drives well enough. Yeah, the interior, especially the back seat, is a bit cramped and there's not a ton of cargo space, but maybe you just drive around by yourself and they'll give you $15,000 worth of free hydrogen. The Mirai obviously isn't for everyone, but it might just be for you. Taken as a whole, however, it's a bit of a hard sell. To check out our latest vehicle rankings, go to motortrend.com/cars.